You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
9 o'clock.
Factual, insightful, and credible. It's Nationwide News Now at 9.
Good morning, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the news at 9 for this Sunday morning, November 17, 2024, MP J.C. Hutchinson said some persons were paid to demonstrate against him last week. 16-year-old slapped with several gun-related charges by St. James Police. 48-hour curfew now in effect in sections of the Kingston West Police Division. In news from the region, British Virgin Islands educators among the highest paid in the region, while on the international scene, Russia launches massive attack on Ukraine energy, killing at least 7. And in sports, McIlroy wins DP World Tour finale and race to Dubai. The details after this.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Northwestern J.C. Hutchinson claims that supporters who last week called for his resignation during a protest were paid to demonstrate against him. Speaking at the Jamaica Labour Party's St. Elizabeth Parish meeting at Newell High on Saturday night, Hutchinson said despite the protest, it's clear that much has been done for the constituency, especially through the work of Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness.
The rest of them who were there get $5,000 and a box lunch. I want to say to all of you, Northwest St. Elizabeth has benefited greatly under this Prime Minister. There is no other Prime Minister who has brought about the development of this country more than Dr. Andrew Holness.
Mr. Hutchinson also said that he had helped some of the demonstrators to deal with various challenges.
One of them has sent on farm work, and after 3 weeks, the man come back home, said the work too tough, he can't manage it. And then him now want the MP to support him. Another one you see in the picture, him admit that him got 50 chicken and 5 bag of feed from me, but I never give him the black drum. So you understand the people that I deal with in my constituency. So no matter what happen, they have to come good.
J.C. Hutchinson, Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Northwestern. Meanwhile, J.C. Hutchinson is suggesting that he will be victorious at the polls when the next general election is called. Mr. Hutchinson said last week's demonstration against him was not a surprise. The veteran MP for St. Elizabeth Northwestern is not ruling on winning by a bigger margin when the election is called.
But I want to say, many of you would have been seeing a demonstration that went on in Northwest St. Elizabeth. I don't want to go further into it, but I want you to understand, for every election that we have had the people coming out and demonstrating against me. And every election, I have won by a bigger majority. I told the area council a couple weeks ago that the demonstration was coming because I call it the pre-election demonstration, because we know it's coming.
J.C. Hutchinson, MP for St. Elizabeth Northwestern. Mayor of Black River and Councillor for the New Market Division, Richard Solomon, says the next general election, due next year, is a serious one for the country. Speaking at the Jamaica Labour Party's St. Elizabeth Parish meeting at Newell High on Saturday, Solomon says the election comes at a turning point for Jamaica.
This election is a serious election. This is the most important election in our lifetime. This is the turning point. We would have navigated the treacherous waters already. God blessed us with a leader, with a vision. We are blessed to have Dr. Andrew Michael Holness. Remember COVID? COVID was the worst thing that happened to this country and the world in general. We had 2 wars that caused high inflation rate right across the world. But under the vision and the leadership of Dr. Andrew Michael Holness, we are the best economy in the hemisphere.
Richard Solomon, Mayor of Black River and Council for the New Market Division. Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahou-Fort has reiterated the importance of strong legislative policies in ensuring effective governance. She was speaking at a legislative policy development workshop held at the S Hotel in Kingston on Friday. Minister Malahou-Fort addressed an audience of policy officers, legal officers, chief technical directors and other senior officials across various ministries. The workshop, organized by her ministry, aimed to equip technocrats with the necessary tools to develop sound legislative policies. This initiative is part of the ministry's broader effort to improve the quality of drafting instructions and the resulting bills presented to Parliament. Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary in the ministry Wayne Robertson emphasized the importance of building capacity among technocrats to align legislative policies with Jamaica's socio-economic objectives. Participants at the workshop engaged in expert-led sessions and in-depth discussions on best practices in policy development. They also received guidance on preparing legislative policies and drafting instructions, along with insights into the role of the ministry's legal reform department in the legislative process. 2 Manchester men have been charged for the murder of a man at a supermarket in Magatti, St. Elizabeth in October. Charged are Sean Reid, a 35-year-old chef, otherwise called Sogi, and a 30-year-old Romana Smile, an electrician. Both men are from Knockpatrick community in Manchester. Head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, Superintendent Coleridge Minto, says the men were charged on Thursday for the murder of 62-year-old businessman Agri Atkinson of Russell Hill in Balaclava in St. Elizabeth. Mr. Atkinson was shot dead by armed men during a robbery at a supermarket in Magatti just after noon on October 17. He died at hospital. Superintendent Minto provided the update at the monthly meeting of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation on Thursday. A 16-year-old boy has been slapped with several gun-related charges by the St. James Police. He is charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, 2 counts of shooting with intent, using a firearm to commit a felony, and discharging a firearm. They stem from an incident in Gut Bottom, Granville in the parish on Tuesday, November 12. The Montego Bay Police report that at about 4 p.m., lawmen were on patrol in the Granville area when they noticed a Toyota Yaris motorcar. The vehicle reportedly fits the description of one it is believed was used by robbers earlier in the day. The police report that upon approaching the Toyota Yaris, men alighted from the vehicle and opened fire on the lawmen. The officers returned the fire and the men ran. A search of the area reportedly uncovered the wounded teen. He was taken to hospital where he was treated for gunshot wound. During the police investigation, the teen was charged. His accomplices are still being sought. A 48-hour curfew is now in effect in sections of the Kingston West Police Division. The curfew, which began at 6 p.m. on Friday, will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Sunday, November 17. It covers the communities of Trenchtown, Jonestown, Craigtown and Admiraltown. The areas affected are West Road, Greenwich Street, Lyndhurst Road, Slipen Road, Studley Park Road, Asquith Street and 7th Street. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. And now to news in the region. Premier and Minister of Finance Dr. Natalia Wheatley says educators in the British Virgin Islands BVI now rank among the highest paid in the region following a recent compensation review. During his recent budget address, Wheatley highlighted that the starting salary for a qualified teacher in the BVI now stands at $55,146 per year, a figure that surpasses the starting salary in the nearby United States Virgin Islands USVI, which stands at approximately US $50,974. The difference amounts to an annual advantage of US $4,172 for BVI teachers. Wheatley stated, "This competitive salary supports our efforts to attract and retain talented educators, a critical factor in the success of our students and the system as a whole." To news on the international scene, Russia targets energy infrastructure in a large-scale overnight attack across Ukraine. Zelensky says 120 missiles and 90 drones were launched during a massive combined strike on all regions of Ukraine. Ukraine's largest private energy company says the attacks caused significant damage to its thermal energy plants. Emergency blackouts have been announced in 3 regions under Russian attack. Poland scrambled fighter jets as missiles headed to western Ukraine. Let's now turn to sports. Rory McIlroy held off Denmark's Rasmus Hutchinson to win the season-ending DP World Tour Championship and clinch his 6th race in Dubai title. The Northern Irishman finished 2 strokes ahead of Hutchinson on 15 under at Jumeirah Golf Estates after a 3 under par 69 in his final round. McIlroy, 35, was confirmed as the race to Dubai winner midway through this round when nearest challenger Thurston Lawrence, who had needed to win the tournament to have any chance of clinching the overall title, finished at 1 under. It is the 3rd year in succession that McIlroy has topped the tour season rankings and his 6th title overall, matching Seve Ballesteros' record. And now to recap the top stories making the news at 9. MP Hutchinson said some persons were paid to demonstrate against him last week. 16-year-old slapped with several gun-related charges by St. James Police. 48-hour curfew now in effect in sections of the Kingston West Police Division. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 6 tomorrow morning. But stay tuned because coming up next is Urban Paradise with Diane Ashton Smith.
Due to the live broadcast of the East and West Portland Joint Constituency Conference at Port Antonio High School on Sunday, November 17 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., the Mayor's Parlor will be aired from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Nationwide 90 FM apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
It's undeniable that we